All right, we are looking at Lesson 9, which was covered on Friday, September 4th. We started with our entrance ticket, looking at a sentence fragment. Daily learning targets. I can use word relationships to determine meaning in The Lightning Thief. I can determine the meanings of unfamiliar words and phrases in Chapter 7 of The Lightning Thief, and I can demonstrate understanding of the excerpt from Chapter 7. Our entrance ticket asks for us to look at a sentence fragment today and turn it into a complete sentence. So we have the sentence fragment back at cabin 11, and it is a fragment because it is not a complete thought, therefore it's not a complete sentence. We are missing, back at cabin 11 is a prepositional phrase. We're missing both the subject and the predicate to make it a complete sentence. So we talked about examples of what a complete sentence with this could look like. Back at cabin 11, Percy was so exhausted he crashed immediately. All the campers waiting for a sign remained back at cabin 11. So there were a couple of examples there. Next, we looked at the assignments for Chapter 7. So normally we do a gist for every chapter we read and a vocab word. Today we're doing it a little bit differently. So I still want you to do a gist. You have all of the gist options, even if it's not listed. But instead of a vocab word today, I want you to choose one of these questions to answer. So, what challenge does Percy face in Chapter 7? What is his response to this challenge, and what might this reveal about his character? We talked at length about various challenges that Percy has faced so far in the book. We talked about how he faced the challenge with Mrs. Dodds in the museum. He faced a challenge by getting kicked out of Yancey Academy again. There was a challenge when his best friend and favorite teacher were talking about him behind his back. We had the challenge of dealing with his stepfather, Gabe, fighting the Minotaur, his mom dying. Now he is at Camp Half-Blood. So we read 2 excerpts from Chapter 7, and when we finished, we talked about what challenges Percy faces in Chapter 7. So it's not your typical challenge where there is any kind of fight ensuing, but it's more of an internal battle that Percy has going on. So in Chapter 7, he is really trying to make sense of who he is, what he knows to be true, how he fits in at Camp Half-Blood, who his father is, and just all of the questions that he has. And finding out that 2 people that he thought he knew well and relied on were not who they said they were. So lots of internal kind of confusion and challenges that he faces. But Percy does not throw a temper tantrum. He doesn't curl up in a ball and cry. Percy perseveres. He keeps going. He keeps asking questions with an open mind, trying to learn and understand. And so what that reveals about his character, we definitely get strength, we get perseverance, we find out that he has curiosity. And so that is what you are meant to do with this assignment. The next thing we did was get into a language dive that we will continue together on Tuesday. So we went through the first part of the language dive together, where we focused on the sentence. I thought about some of the kids I'd seen in Hermes' cabin, teenagers who looked sullen and depressed as if they were waiting for a call that would never come. We talked about what that sentence means. These kids have been waiting for a long time to learn about their godly parents, and they continue to wait. And so we kind of talked about the frustration and the feelings involved there. Then looking at the chunk, they were waiting for a call that would never come. Who are they in this chunk? Well, they are the teenagers in cabin 11. I'm asking for you to complete this part on your own. You can do a sketch, words, phrases, or even copy and paste a picture that represents that to you. What does it feel like to wait for the call that will never come? You might feel unwanted, sad, lonely, abandoned. What does it mean? The as if, it indicates how they feel, not a certainty. And then we completed these sentence stems at the top of the second page. We will continue on Tuesday.